You're welcome, Cal. Oh, wait. Well, that's better. Leafs win 5-1 against the Kraken. What a great game, but it certainly didn't start out that way. As the Kraken opened the scoring, it looked like a different game. It felt like a different game than what it turned out to be. But I guess that's part of being a Leafs fan. Every game, fans can't even take a night off. Every game seems in jeopardy for some reason. But and if they pull ahead, you're just waiting for the other team to come back. But they managed to hold off the Kraken and really managed the game well. But the Kraken had opened the scoring, and the first thing I thought was Brody needs to block the shots. Yeah, he went down like he looked like he was blocking the shot, but he didn't really want it to hit him. Like it did happen fast, and that was, but it went right through him and caught Samsonov off guard. But shortly after, Giordano from the point ties things up, and a big help was O'Reilly in front of the net, causing mayhem. He was just all over in front of the goalie, screening him, giving their defense a hard time. And Giordano managed to put one in right through Grubauer. And then Tavares from Nylander on a point shot from Hall. Hall did a point shot, and it hit Nylander. And then Tavares was just in the right place at the right time, potted one in the open side. And that is where I kind of relaxed a little bit after they started taking over the game like that, all in the first period. And Liljegren, he scores for another from the blue line. So that's two from the defensive side, or two from the defense that are scored. But if you include Hall on the assist of the other one, that was three coming from the blue line. So that's a good sign there that the blue line is getting involved. Unlike near the first half of the season, the blue line hadn't really had a lot of points, but now they're really starting to contribute. And I noticed tonight was good team effort. And I also noticed Matthews, when he was coming back, being a 200-foot player. And he was really noticeable everywhere on the ice. There's some fans saying that, I don't see Matthews anymore. He's not noticeable. Well, he may not be on the score sheet all the time, but he's noticeable every game in the plays that he comes back on and back checks on, and ties sticks up, checks players deep behind our own net. So he is being a full, complete 200 player, and his points went down, of course, but that's what you can expect from a 200-foot player. Unlike other players we know that are just all about the points, and the team is suffering because of it, because they don't come back and back check hard. Some Canadian team out west. So Young Croak and Kampf were quite noticeable tonight, and the shifts that they had. They must feel the pressure coming on, maybe with the looming trade deadline the end of this week on Friday. Maybe they feel that, that they might be expendable in some way. I don't know, but it looks like they're trying to really ramp things up. Maybe O'Reilly or Tavares were talking in the dressing room to really get things going now, to really ramp things up and get ready for the playoffs, just like a well-oiled machine. Try different looks. I know Keefe's trying different looks out there to just, make sure that everybody's ready to play with anybody at any given time, any different situation there is, that and still click and make it happen, and still find each other out there with the puck and on the back checks as well. So, and it was funny too, because on the power play, the Leafs had on one of the power plays in the first period, just when you thought you had enough of Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Riley, then the second power play unit comes out and you have Yarncroke, Bunting, Sandin, Liljegren, and O'Reilly out there. So it's a really good 1-2 punch for the power play units. There's, not a lot of teams have the answer for two big, strong lines like that. So our power play goals should be going up in the playoffs, because I know that was a big struggle other years, was the power plays that we did get, which were far and few between, but we had a difficult time scoring on them. So, and after one, it ended up being 3-1 Leafs, and that's where, I could just kind of relax a little bit, but you never know. It's a 3-1 lead, and you know what happens on 3-goal leads, right? And then in the second, Matthews, off the second chance, he bats it in out of the air. He's going cross crease. There's a lot of traffic in front of the net. He tipped it up, and he took a swing at it as he was almost completely past it, and tipped and batted it into the net. And that was from Marner and Bunting. And that was the goal that chased Grubauer out of the net and replaced it with Martin Jones came in. And that's the 6th time this year that the Leafs have chased the goalie this season. Mark Giordano, he is the single blocked shots record holder with 2,045 blocked shots in the NHL. So Tavares and then Hall creating great scoring chances. Samsonov was completely on fire tonight, made a lot of good saves. And Tavares and Hall were giving the puck away quite a few times in their own end when there was a long 2.5-minute shift that they were trying to survive at the end of the second. I noticed a few times that they were just trying to get rid of it from out front of the net, but ended up passing it to the points a couple of times, like 3 or 4 times on that one shift. It's going to come back to Bernie. You got to put that into the corner. Samsonov managed to save everything and got out of the period. In the third, Matthews, second goal of the game from Marner. And that's just, like I said before, it's his third multi-goal game this season. And as he's focusing on becoming a 200-foot player. So overall, shots on goal, the Leafs 33 and the Kraken 27. The face-off percentages, the Leafs won 69% of them. And hits weren't too bad. The Leafs had 10 hits and Kraken had 21. The Leafs are probably always going to get out-hit if they win the game. And that's just because they have puck possession. They're a puck possession team. They're fast, and that's just how it goes. But the blocked shots, 15 for the Leafs, 10 for the Kraken. Overall, it was a really solid game after they got that... They let that one in at the beginning to start the game. They just locked it down and took over the game. But the Kraken had some good opportunities. They did challenge the Leafs at points in time. They've become a way better team than they have been last year. I hope they make the playoffs, because that would be really good for their fan base. Overall, great game by the Leafs. And now we can start heading down the stretch and getting ready for the playoffs. One thing I want to look at over the next few days is really focus on what Kyle Dubas is going to do since the Lightning have went out and got a player. Now the Leafs can focus, and do they have an answer for that? It'd be interesting to see what takes place and what transpires throughout the week this week. If Dubas, he wants to make another move, but is it viable? I'll do a video later in the week, and we'll discuss it in a little more detail, because there's a few prospects or a few players I think that he should go after, or at least take a look at, and I'll save it for that. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.